Hi everyone. Today we are going to learn about the CRUD operations. So when we talk about CRUD operation, we mainly deal with the four operations. Get, that is used for fetching data from the database. Post is used for creating new data and saving it into a database. Put operation is used for updating our existing data, and delete operation is used for deleting the information whenever we don't need it anymore. Okay, so before working on our CRUD operation, you please be done with these prerequisites. First one is your database should be created into your local system, and create one .NET Web API project. Do the database scaffolding in it, and if you are not done with these prerequisites, please take a reference to my previous videos, that is SQL Server Setup database, where I have created one database named Favorite DB, and it has mainly four tables: adventure books, order, person, and romance books. Okay, so when you're done with the creating your database, second step is to do for the database scaffolding. For that, you have to create your web API project and then do the database scaffolding. When you're done with these prerequisites, you can go ahead with this video, and we're gonna do the CRUD operations. So for that, I'll open my Visual Studio. As you can see, I have already created my web API project, and I have also done the database scaffolding. As you can see, I have two extra folders: data as well as models, and this model folder contain uh, four files for each table. As you can see, in my database there were four tables: adventure books, order, person, and romance books. For all of these tables, there is one file available for each one. So for adventure book table, there is adventure book file. As you can see, there are variables available for each of the column name for that table. Okay, if you're done with these steps, we can go ahead and add our reference for this file into our program.cs file. So we are mainly going to add our dependency. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so this is the command to add our dependency. As you can see over here, my file name was favorite books context. What I have done over here is make use of builder variable, call the services class, and add db context. And over here I have added my file name, that is context file name. I've also provided the connection string over here. So if you want to make sure that your connection string is right, you can go ahead and open the app settings.json file. Over here you will find your connection string, and my connection string key name was favorite books. That's why I have added key favorite books over here. Okay, so if you're done with this adding this dependency, basically if I break it down, first one is to add the db context file name, whatever the file name that you have given or got from database scaffolding command. As you can see, I have added it over here. Next step is to provide the connection string. So for providing connection string, you can take a reference from the app settings.json file. Okay, so let's just save this file, and let's just create our CRUD operations one by one. First, we'll be creating our get API or get operation. For that, go click on the controller, right click on the controller folder, add a new controller. Now, for now, we'll be creating an empty API controller. Click on the add button and provide your controller name over here. Romance books. You can give any name to your controller. I'm giving it as my table name. I'll show it to you. As you can see in model, there is one table name romance books, and file is also available over here. That's why I have created this controller. Okay, now our first step is to initialize our db context or instantiate our db context file. Okay, so that we can take a reference from it and do the operations. So make it as private because we don't want other files to access it. So, and make it as read only as well. So my file db context file name was favorite books context. That's why I have given this name. And as IntelliSense is giving you some suggestions, I have given the name for the same way. Now create one constructor, double click on tab and it will create a constructor for you. Now I have created this variable for instantiating it. I'll be making use of constructor. So this way I have instantiated it. Okay, now we'll be creating our request one by one. First we'll be creating a get request. So basically for creating our get API, we will make a method that will be obviously will be public and make it async because we are going to hit our database, so it will take some time to fetch the data. So that's why I've made it public and async. Okay, now return type of it will be something like task, and I'll be adding action result in it. And when we will be fetching our data, it might return one entry or it can return a list of uh, data, right? So that's why I will be using IEnumerable so that we can deal with list of data as well. So my table name is romance book, so I have provided that same name also. So please make sure that in the models table, whatever the book table name is given for you, add the same name over here. That's why I've added romance book. Okay, now provide the method name for your request. I'm giving get all romance books. Okay, first thing that I'll do is to make sure that this this table exists. So table exists or not, we can make sure it by checking one condition. If my context dot man's books, if this table is equal to null, the table should exist, and data in that table data should also exist. If the data exists, it will return this condition will be false, otherwise it will return not found. Because there is no data, so obviously it's going to return not found, right? Now our next step is to return the data if it exists. So we'll make use of our context, provide the file table name. Okay, table name was romance books, so that's why I've provided it. Now Since it can be one data or a list of data, so I'm going to make use of toList async method. Okay, and one more thing that I have to do is, since it's going to hit the database and will try to fetch the data, it might take some time, so I'll apply await before it. And we're done with our API one CRUD operation, that is get operation. Now let's just save all these files. Click on build section. First clean the this and build our solution. Build has started. Okay, it succeeded. Now we can run our project. I have given the default browser for my project as Chrome. That's why it's opening it into Chrome. You can change your browser later on, but for now let's just make use of Chrome only. So as you can see, our this API get API is available over here. We can make use of it. Let's try it out, execute it. Okay, it's giving me the all the romance books that are available. Let's make sure that in my database as well the same data is available and there is no issue with it, right? Let's make sure of it. Okay, first let me select my favorite books database and let's just check my table romance books. Okay, execute this query, and as you can see there are two type two rows of data. One is having the a man called Love and ID is 101. Second one is 102 ID and its name is Princess Dinah, and we got the same results in our API. So when I tried to hit the romance books API, I got the same results as you can see. Okay, so get operation is working fine. We can clear it, cancel. If you're done with your operation, you can close this project and let's just close it. Okay, so after you are done with your get operation, in the next video we'll be talking about the post operation. So see you in the next video. Thank you.